Guys, Artosis here, casting some CasterMuse Star League Season 4. This is the Group B losers match. It's between Best and Ssak, and it is game number 3, meaning these guys have each won and lost a single game. Whoever wins here goes on to the decider, and whoever loses, out of the tournament. So let's talk about our players for a moment, if we could. Ssak, of course, we have over here in the bottom left of Polypoid. This guy is, I think, a very strong, very underrated Terran by a lot of people. Maybe not as big a fan base, but a very smart player who has an alternative type of style, very technical Terran is the way I like to describe him, using kind of slightly off builds that still actually make a lot of sense and are very strong. His opponent, of course, Best. I think Best right now is actually the best Protoss in the world, to be honest. I think that's something a lot of people would agree with. He has been an absolute Terran killer, but really a killer of everything and everyone for quite some time now, but looking fantastic. Of course, so far in this tournament, having a little bit of a rough time. Yeah, we're in the round of 16, but to be in the loser match 1-1 against Ssak, not exactly where you want to find yourself. So Best is going to go ahead and put down a forward gateway. So certainly we're going to see at least one Zealot, but probably 2 to 3 going over to put some pressure onto Ssak. As far as his building placement goes, we'll see how many other buildings he wants to put up here. But I wonder if he's going for a gases expand. It kind of looks that way. That could make it a little bit rough if he tries to get greedy with it. But if he just scouts very quickly to the right, yeah, he's actually sending his SCV to the bottom right first. So that's going to help him quite a bit. And in fact, you know what? He gets his gas anyways. So this is just like a slightly higher economy build. We'll see how much gas he ends up mining everything. But just the fact that the SCV is going to scout this forward gateway, as soon as you see that, you know that there's multiple Zealots that are going to be coming. So he can really prepare for that now. All right, the SCV coming in to check the gas timing. Sees the second pylon, sees when the gas was made, and he's going to be watching for a cybernetics core and trying to figure out how many Zealots he's going to have to deal with. The first Zealot coming out. Best staying on his usual scout pattern, going to the north, and then going over to the side. So his Zealot and Probe will be meeting down here at approximately the right time. Or the same time, rather. Now, it looks like a nice little wall is being made. Trying to figure out if this is actually tight. I think it might actually be Zealot type, but not Marine type. That's actually kind of amazing. I did not realize that this wall even existed on Polypoid, honestly. Wow. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to steal this. A 1 depot, 1 barracks wall that lets Marines possibly micro through is a fantastic wall to have in your back pocket there. The Zealots are gonna do absolutely nothing. See, now he has 2 Zealots and not really gonna find any damage with those, that's for sure. Doesn't start a third, instead going directly into range for his Dragoons. Dragoon on the way as well. Factory coming up for Ssak right now. And yeah, he's able to sit here on just a single Marine, which is really, really nice. Let's see if he goes for a bunker very quickly. Both Zealots are actually chasing the SCV, so Ssak very greedily throws down his command center right away. I gotta tell you, I'm loving what I'm seeing here. But I wonder if Best might be able to get some counter damage done. He's got a couple Zealots headed back towards the bunker, as well as the Dragoon. Now, Ssak is making some Marines, but 2 Zealots and a Dragoon might be able to do something crazy, like even run by the bunker, especially considering Ssak just started his siege tank. So we've got about 30 seconds before he has anything powerful out. Best now approaching the front of the base. Let's see what he ends up doing. He sees the bunker and actually just turns around. Does have his Nexus up, but Sakk's command center coming up a lot quicker here. So honestly, when all is said and done, it was an interesting opener from Ssak, not what you'll normally see. Like, for instance, I mean, I've played a million games and watched a million games on Polypoid. Never saw this wall before, but he's got that tech in his back pocket, and he's gone for a very fast command center with it, whereas Best made a couple Zealots that don't do anything. So definitely looking at this, it feels to me like Ssak definitely got the upper hand. His command center now finishing up, able to start that production of SCVs 2 at a time. A little bit over halfway for Best's Nexus. He is going for a Robo and a second Gateway. We'll see if he wants to go Reaver or just Observer with this. Best really does like Reaver and Shuttle Speed nowadays. Over on Sakk's side, looks like he's going for the Academy and Armory. Very standard macro plays coming from him. A little bit of pressure here. Push the Dragoon back that he assumes is out there. All right, so everything's kind of stabilized. So yeah, we have Ssak. Maybe, I guess you could say, winning the early game with the slightly better opener, but, you know, nothing that Best cannot come back from. And in fact, this dive doing pretty darn well, but Ssak does maneuver this one siege tank back. The other one gets picked off. Oh, I think Best is going to be able to get this. Lands the barracks, and it actually glitches the tank a little bit. I think he was hoping that it would slide through the other direction, but losing 2 Dragoons and some health off of another one for 2 early tanks is a gigantically good trade for Best. He's got to be happy with that. And on Sakk's side, this is not something that you would ever be happy with. To lose a couple tanks for a couple Dragoons, like, even if he only loses 1 tank there, you're like, okay, that's about even. But to lose 2, that really will slow him down a little bit. And you can see how heavily anti-air he's going right now. He's actually getting Goliath range before a siege mode upgrade and getting an engineering bay. So he is really going for that anti-air. Maybe getting a turret just because he doesn't know exactly what's going on the other side of the map. His comp sets are finishing up. Should be seeing a scan relatively soon. There it is. And you see the Reaver tech. See what he does with the eBay. I think once you see that, you do still throw a turret down, even though you're making Goliath range very quickly. It's just very, very useful to have. The eBay can either spot or block the turret so that you don't see the turret as you fly in. And yeah, you know, pretty even game. They're both just kind of sitting back, macroing up. Best taking his 3rd Nexus just off of a couple gates, as well as his Reaver tech. Right, here comes that shuttle. He's trying to utilize those 2 Zealots he made early on that didn't get any damage done. Yeah, I mean, already Goliath range is done. So Best turns around. If Best had gone to the north, he would have been able to pick him off. So nice maneuvering from Ssak. He had himself in a position to possibly punish Best. Best actually thinks, oh, I thought he was going to actually dive on those. That could have been deadly, though. Do not want to lose this shuttle and Reaver right now. Observer coming across the map. Speed for the shuttles on the way. And yeah, this kind of shows the style of Ssak very, very well. Notice that he's gotten his starport before the 3rd command center. Normally, the 3rd command center in a standard Terran vs. Protoss, you'll start before the 8-minute mark. Here we are at like 8:10, and he's not planning on it, right? He's playing his own style here, getting a very quick dropship. Some vultures being made. Vulture speed on the way as well. He does have siege. He does have range on the Goliaths. But the Observer did get in and get a good scout. So Best should have a good idea of what's coming. I wonder if he's going to be able to get some damage done with this dropship he's making. Well, he's continuing to produce his probes, but Best up to his 3 bases now, starting to pull ahead as far as workers go. Citadel on the way, but again, a kind of late Citadel. That style can work in these types of situations, though, let's not forget. You don't necessarily need to rush to Arbiter if your opponent is staying on the 2-base tech. We have a 3rd command center now starting. It's kind of zoned back, so it's hard to actually peek in and see that it is, in fact, a command center being made. He has his 2-1 upgrades on the way. A couple vultures out on the map. And here comes that dropship. Let's see what he gets done with it. All right, flies past the 3rd base into the main, but Best has a couple Dragoons waiting. He is warping in a photon cannon, but it's not ready quite yet. No mines on these vultures, and in fact, not doing much because he's being dropped at the same time. 2 speed shuttles flying over his anti-air, and a great Scarab connects right there, getting quite a few SCVs. Oh, that's too bad. You know what? This double drop from Best ends up doing some damage, but also ends up working as defense against the drop that Ssak did. Sakk's drop did absolutely 0 because he had to jump his screen over here to deal with this harassment. So it really worked out for Best, even though it didn't do a lot of damage. Ssak still sitting on 45 probes. Whereas Best up in the 60 range. Full economy for him. And Best just going to fly out of here. In the meantime, taking another base. Kind of an interesting location to take that fourth. This kind of pocketed expansion is much more pushable for Ssak. But honestly, the way that this game is going, we know that the macro is going to explode for Best at this point. He hasn't really taken economic damage, but actually, as I say that, a couple vultures run in, getting up some probes. All right, Ssak going up 2-4 bases. Is 2-1 going to be finishing relatively soon here. Both of them over halfway done. He has that third command center ready, so we're going to want to see him push out and actually secure his third base and really hit his stride as far as macro goes. But I don't think that there's going to be any attack timings until he's like 3-2 upgrades. So it should be a long game if Sakk's going to end up winning it. All right, another little drop harassment. Luckily, he hasn't lost that dropship yet. Getting a few probes here and there, keeping Best a little bit busy. Mine upgrade just now starting. Some more vultures being sent out onto the map. And Best adding a huge gateway explosion right now. Look at that. Going up to quite a few. Looks like we're going up to about 10 gates. Second forge coming up as well. Getting Psystorm to go with his speed shuttles. Really the style, all the rage right now. But Ssak continuing with his harassment. Gets a decent amount of probes, actually. Brings Best down into 53 workers at the moment. Did have over 60 there, but still, you know, he's producing 4 probes at a time, so what's it going to take him? 26 seconds to refill those? It's not a big deal for him. Ssak still playing pretty carefully here. His 2-1 has finished. I really want to see if he's going to start the 3-2. Yeah, there it is. +3 attack on the way. Ssak just kind of clearing some of the observers that are around. Oh, another double speed shuttle run in here. Reaver gets it all the way to the mineral line. Gonna get... Ooh! They killed like 7 SCVs with that one Scarab right there. Zealot's getting on top of some of these siege tanks. This is not looking super hot for Ssak right now. He's had a really hard time taking his third base. This command center has been done just about forever. And Best just keeps on ravaging him with these drops, just slowing him down. He has done some counter harassment, but it hasn't gotten nearly the same type of damage down. Hasn't really slowed Best at all, to be honest. All right, that third command center floating out. And it looks like he's going to take, like, the ultra defensive third base here. You almost never see that, but it is doable as your third in this type of position. This base is so close to Best that you have to have similar army supplies to hold it. Here, he's going to be able to take more of a defensive battle, right? Like, he could build a row of supply depots here, just stretch the siege tanks up, and it becomes a little bit harder for Best to attack in a lot of ways, even though this does have the high ground advantage. But yeah, Best has so many units right now. He might just try to bust him. Here he comes. Speed shuttle flying in, does turn around, has a lot of high Templars in there. Not that many units here for Ssak, and I think he's just gonna get run over. Here we go, some Psystorms coming out. Ssak with almost nothing left over. Best just pummeling his way through right now. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Ssak just throws in the towel. His third base not up, his units non-existent, really. Just a couple siege tanks left over. And here comes maybe the nail in the coffin, the Psystorm drop, clearing a lot of those units on the high ground. And GG is called. Best stays alive.